Factories that pollute the air. We again reveal how they have been beating systems even as they unleash dangerous chemicals into the city neighborhoods. The country's failure to enforce environmental standards is creating a population with weak lungs and poor immune system, with devastating consequences to families and the country's healthcare system. The sun is just going down, and what you see is an air of smoke. We want to find out what it's doing to the inhabitants of Mukuru Kwa Reuben.
Pumua ndani kwa nguvu. Sawa. Utaona hautaona moshi,
Elijah Gashuki is a senior clinical officer at Ruben Health Center, the only health facility in the slum area. He tells us that in Mukuru Kwa Reuben, respiratory illness is the leading killer of children under the age of 5.
Every month when we do our reports, the upper respiratory tract infections is always the leading disease of all the diseases that we deal with here.
Margaret Mwenesi is asthmatic, and the last few days have been bad for her.
Ukiwa wa kawaida unafaa kusukuma up to 590. Highest yako ni 160. Sawa. So 160 over 590 times 100, iko at 27. Sawa. So 27 ni mbaya.
The clinician tells us that Mwenesi's lungs are weak and the problem is in the air she breathes in.
Every time that she says she has been up country or away from her home, she is usually very much improved.
The companies who pollute the atmosphere here have long been accused of taking shortcuts and compromising regulators to look the other way as the industries spew deadly fumes into the residential areas. And Citizen TV has obtained exclusive access to an employee of Accurate Steel Millers, a subsidiary of Bachu Industries, a factory accused of polluting the air within Mukuru Kwa Reuben, so that we do not put his life at risk. We agree to conceal his identity. Close to 500,000 people live in Mukuru Kwa Reuben. It's one of the most densely populated places in Kenya. The housing structures are packed just a meter or less from each other. Poor drainage and sanitation and lack of running water has from time to time led to disease outbreaks. Here, they lack even the most basic of human needs. Just like every Kenyan, they are battling the world's pandemic, coronavirus. It's highly contagious and deadly, especially in persons with a weaker immune system. But here in Mukuru Kwa Reuben, weak lungs and compromised immune systems is what they get on a daily basis, thanks to endless pollution.
Katika hii kijiji ni kampuni tu peke yake. Kama ni kutolewa itolewe ipeleke huko kwa barabara mahali kuna zingine.
The emission from this industry creates smog or floating soot particles, some of them small enough to bypass the body's defense systems to cause fatal illness, respiratory disease, heart disease, and cancer. The factory has a habit of releasing gaseous emissions during the night, but this activity might start as early as 5 p.m. and this is when the air is at its worst.
Hii moshi ikianza kutoka pande hii na zunguka hii mayota mpaka huko chini. Sasa inakaba hapa kama nini ile ukungu ya asubuhi. Kwa hivyo watu hapo ni kujifungia kwa manyumba na kuvumilia.
The most dangerous particles are called PM2.5, with PM standing for particulate matter, and 2.5 means they are less than 2.5 micrograms. These particles are too small to be seen by the naked eye, but they are deadly. According to the World Health Organization, the threshold for PM2.5 should be 25 micrograms per cubic meter. But according to this digital sensor machine from Code for Africa, it's about 401.9 micrograms per cubic meter, more than 15 times the allowable limit.
This is something that you keep inhaling and it gets into your system. So you may not get the results in a week's time or 2 weeks, but in such an area, if we have children who have asthma, then it gets worse.
What about those young children who are developing? Does it pose any danger? And especially when we talk about development of major or key organs.
Organs in their bodies. Yeah, you're right. Of course, adults, their lungs are developed. Their systems are developed. But you're looking at children whose systems are still developing. So this actually poses such a grave danger for children even more than adults, and maybe even for the older people whose immune systems are also weakened by age.
Tukiingia kwa nyumba tunashindwa hata kulala wenyewe mshanda. Tunashinda tu. Na hatuna namna ya kuenda, ndio tunaamua kushinda tu. Kichwa inatuuma. Makozi hata ukikoa hakuna kitu kinatoka. Watoto unasikia kifua, unasikia uchungu, ukiongoja akoea hata atabike nini makozi itoki.
So how long have you worked with the Accurate Industries?
Nimefanya kwa sahi muda miaka 4. Section yenye sahi nilikuwa nafanya ni ya AOD. Probably hapo tunatumianga, kuna saa nyingine silicon, phosphorus, carbon yenyewe, kuna manganese na aluminium. Na saa ile chuma chemshwa kuwa yani melted kabisa. Ikishaenda sasa kumwagwa, saa hiyo ndio inaongezwa hizo. To extend saa ile itafika maximum ya heat yake.
He says depending on the additive used, the emissions released could be dangerous to the environment and health of those who live there. Are you normally given instructions to release smoke or emissions during the night? Are there specific instructions from the management?
Kazi mostly inaanzaga 6 na sana ikianza 6 hapo ndio kuna kuanga na hiyo moshi. Argon, oxygen deactivation. Sasa ile imekuja hapo, in case hakuna chimney karibu, ile chimney ya kisasa, sasa moshi waga inaenda express ikiwa haina kichungi yoyote, waga ina ikievaporate ni hivyo, sasa inaenda hapo karibu mostly na affect hiyo hewa iko hapo.
Our informant shared video footage of what happens during the night. The footage shows smoke escaping through the rooftop while some accumulating inside the facility. This is serious. What I'm seeing is that the smoke is not escaping through the chimney as required. So it simply means that anyone working here right now is exposed to pollution. Just like that.
Saa zile natoka usiku na mmelala, ina affect watu, hata watu pale. Kuna wale hata mtu mmoja alikuja akaaga kwa sababu ya hiyo. Mwenesi
says the impact of air pollution on her stretches beyond her health.
Mimi ni mjane, mzee aliaga. So unaona inakuwa shida kupata pesa ya kununua dawa na pesa ya kusomesha watoto. Sasa imeniadhiri kwa sababu saa zingine inaweza kuwa nimepata attack na sina pesa ya kwenda hosi.
It's the second time in 2 years that Citizen TV is exposing the activities of Accurate Steel Millers, a subsidiary of Bachu Industries. But since the last time, NEMA has never acted against this factory. Residents here claim the environmental regulator is compromised by company officials. Our attempt to get a response from NEMA on the bribery allegations and why it has not taken action against the company did not materialize. By the time of airing this story, the organization promised to give us information but did not honor its promise to date.
Kuna wakati hata watu wa NEMA walikuja pale na kidogo hiyo kitu ikarudi ikazima. Meaning kuna kitu walipokea pale ndio wakazimisha hiyo maneno.
Wakikuja feedback ndio sasa inakuwa tofauti. Hakuna kitu saa nyingine imepimwa imeonekana. Sijui kama kuna wenye wanapitaga kando.
Wanasema tu kampuni iko sawa.
Iko sawa.
Lakini kulingana na wewe mambo hayako sawa.
Kulingana na mimi haiko sawa. Depending na hata saa ingine ukiwa huko ndani hii kisha kwama hivi moshi saa ingine inajaa huko. So kila mtu ana inhale hiyo ambapo ujui inhale kwa imekawasi yake.
According to the Registrar of Companies, Bachu Industries is owned by 3 shareholders: Amarjit Bachu Singh, Dawinda Bachu Singh, and Guruvir Bachu Singh. All of them are based outside the country.
The chimney, it's just, you can see.
From the video footage he shared with us, it's clear employees of the factories are not protected enough. Most of them are seen without proper protective gears. The sobering reality of an injustice that is eating this neighborhood, both inside the factory and outside. A community literally battling for air. Enock Sikolia, Citizen TV, Nairobi.